Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. Like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Draft Day Sports College Football 2019, episode number 40. We're into garbage time here. Final minute of the game against Hawaii, and it's been a blowout. 38-7 is the score right now. We're going to take that 20-yard field goal as time wraps up on this game, and it's good. So 41-7 with a half minute to play. Now, in terms of yardage, both teams had similar numbers through the air, but on the ground is where the big difference is. We put up just about the same amount of yardage on the ground as we did through the air, while they had 25 yards of offense on the ground here, as they're going to drop to pass here. Not quite one last time. There's a little bit of time left on the clock, 8 seconds now, as that one falls incomplete. So total dominance here. Third quarter was decent for Hawaii, but that's that, and there's your game. So 6-3 now on the season, and we actually have a shot, a legitimate shot at getting all 3 wins in the remaining games. All 3 teams, all 3 opponents are well below 500, so there's a definite chance there. It's not been a perfect season, but it hasn't been the easiest of calendars. If you've been following for a while, you would know that this has been a bit of a challenging season in terms of the schedule, especially compared to last season. We can see the big discrepancy on third down. First downs overall, not too dissimilar. But on third down, real difference between the teams, as we were nearly 50% and they were 1 for 14. So clear advantage in total yards, and again, that was through plays on the ground. Our yards per pass was much, much better than theirs. So we held them to a lot of short gains on that. And again, the rushing was the big one. They were getting 1 yard per carry, while we had 4.3. Each team with 1 turnover. Ware was 15 for 20 today with 222 yards and 3 touchdowns. Langston, who came in for the garbage time, 1 for 2, but 63 yards on that one. So he actually ends up with a humongous rating, as that was a massive gain. It was not for a touchdown. That was right there in that final drive. Kirkwood, 30 attempts, 116 yards. It's nice to see somebody on the 100-plus yard side. And Hennessy, plenty of carries too, with 18, and an even better average, but just shy of 100. Huggins, 6 catches, 126 yards, and all 3 touchdowns accredited to Huggins. 2 field goals, including the one right there at the end of the game. We did punt a fair amount of times, but nice solid average there. Only 1 return on special teams, but 6 punt returns. So Poland had every touch there. Meyer, 7 tackles. Bonner had 6 tackles, also 2 pass deflections, and the 1 turnover of the game, an interception. Alvarez, 3 tackles for a loss. Odin had 2 sacks in the game. We did have a couple forced fumbles, but unfortunately weren't able to pick any of those up. We had a blocked punt in this game. Penalties were minimal, only 1 10-yarder. Pancakes, not a ton, but 0 sacks allowed in the game. That's a big number. Keenan and Stackhouse both with 5 pancakes. Really good, solid performance by the team. And we're going to go ahead and finish off week number 10 of the season now. Next up is Wyoming. They are just 3-6 as we head into week number 11. Of course, recruiting is going to come up here in just a moment. Unlike past seasons, I've been hanging on to a lot of mail here. And how we doing? Looks like we're going to lose this player and this player. So a guard and a tackle are both going to be out, but the others Still looking good. The fullback also falling out, so we're losing 3 of these guys. Better week in training. Last week was really bad. Wyman, one of our top players, picks up some points in tackling. That's good. Make him even stronger as we head down through the season. Not ranked, but we're getting up there. The prestige as well. Definite boost from where we were as a team just a few seasons ago. Plenty of scouting points here. We lost somebody. Did I miss something? Back to that email. Oh, there you go. I missed that one. Week 11, a recruiting summary. So we lost 4 players that we previously were targeting. One of our current targets is gone, and that is a center. So we're going to need to replace a center. And we actually still hadn't even filled up everything as we've gone this far into the season. It's really time I kind of finish off those recruiting targets. So we always open with what's out there, and South Carolina stepping in, and with no interest, Cochran is certainly going to be a goner. So that leaves quarterback. We are looking for 2. Still good there, though. And we're down a running back as well. And I only needed 1 running back. So as long as Boyer's still good, then we're okay. We're not good on that, so we're going to lose both running backs, which means we do need to find 1 replacement. Oh, losing a lot of players this week. Okay, that was our only wide receiver, so we're going to need to replace them as well. Can't wait for the days where we can actually beat out other teams for recruits. Okay, down a guard, and that appears to be our only... Can't be our only guard. Okay, there's 1 other right now, but we needed 2. Oh my goodness. Now, technically, we should be able to beat out Houston for a recruit, technically speaking. However, looking at our ability levels, we're not there. So, for that, no, we're not going to beat them out. Where was I? Parks. Oh, Parks is looking good. 47 on the interest level. It'd be really nice if we could actually recruit some players on merit. Tackle is gone. Fullback is gone. This is insane. We're losing everybody. We don't have much left. Oh my goodness. Oregon comes in and it's like, yeah, nope, I'm not going to your school. Oregon wants me. I understand. Actually, in real life, we just went through that. The name eludes me, but a wide receiver out of USC, which of course that's their strength. It's wide receiver. So they have a ton of quality there. And a year ago, the top wide receiving recruit in the entire nation picked USC. Kid out of California. Makes sense that he would opt to stay there. That was Oled, right? Yes. It's another guard. Both guards need to be replaced. Final four. I'd be happy if we keep a few of these. Oh, that's two already. Nope, Brown's gone. So that's a linebacker. Okay. Well, that was 3 out of 4. That's what I was hoping for. At least the new ones from last week. At least we retained most of them. But we're down to just 8 offers right now that are out there, meaning we're replacing most everything. So that is harsh. That is harsh what we're having to replace now. Alright, so where to begin? Well, I guess we'll go down the list. Quarterback. I know the 5 stars are all gone by this point. 4 stars probably are as well. And there's actually only a couple of them that have not signed on. That's a bit unusual, but okay. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Alright, there's a quarterback. And we need a running back too. I do not know how far down this list we are. I guess we'll start from here. The end of the 4 stars. Already into the 3 stars, so these guys are signing on quick with a lot of schools. Okay, we're almost out of scouting points, but we have plenty of scholarships left. And of course, we need to get back after the next group, so lost that fullback as well. Still find that crazy that the number 1 ranked player in the nation is a fullback. In what world is that ever going to be the case? Tight end? No. One of the only positions we didn't need. We'll grab another recruit or 2 for this week. Oh, anyway, so USC, right? Top receiver. He goes there, but the depth, too much. Way too much. And he finds himself down the depth chart. So as a true freshman, not wanting to redshirt because of the talent, expecting to get on the field right away, he's on special teams. Plays primarily special teams as a freshman, and that was that. Now, as a true sophomore this season, expected to step up become that regular contributor, but there's still a bunch of depth in front of him. Plenty of talent, guys that he's not outshining. So, first 2 games of the season, barely sees the field. Decides he's going to go somewhere else because he needs to play and can't miss all of his playing time. NFL and all that, future prospects. And so, decides to walk away from USC. Transfer. One Oregon State comes along and says, hey, Pac-12, you want to still play in the Pac-12, right? We'll take you. So he agrees gives a verbal that he's going to transfer to Oregon State. And then, not even a week later, Oregon comes along and says, you want to come to the Pac-12 and win, right? I don't know exactly what they said, of course, but whatever they said, it worked because the next day he announces he's going to Oregon. It happens. Sorry, little brother, Oregon State. My apologies to you. You certainly used to be the better program. There was a time. It's been a long time since, though. But I certainly remember a number of years, including while I was a student there, where we did not go on a long win streak against them, and it was basically whichever team played at home won that, what we call the Civil War rivalry, year after year after year. So it was always a tight contest. You used to give us a run for your money. All right, well, I suppose that's enough for now. We got through wide receiver, but there's a number of other positions that we're going to have to fill. That's 4 that we're filling for now, but we don't have the scouting points to go back and do it. A lot of vacancies still within this squad. Let's go ahead and get into the next game of the season. Nationally, 2-3 undefeateds left, and surprisingly, they're not at the top 3 in the rankings, as they realistically should be. But Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Miami, you would think those 2, well, I mean, I guess they've only had 7 wins, so they have a lot of games left to play. But you would think that would be enough to get them above these guys. But LSU, Clemson on top. Florida State above Miami. Why? Why would they be? Our next game is Wyoming. And we're going to go ahead and go box score on this one. And with that, we should be comfortable victors, I would hope. I certainly would hope for this one. We do get the victory. What was the score? 33-12. Not as comfortable as it was against Hawaii, but certainly still a comfortable scoreline at the end. Unless they scored first, we never trailed. I know, we opened with a field goal. And we did. We trailed 7-3. So, they had an early lead. Wasn't dominant. Actually, they had more first downs than we did. Yardage was not a major advantage either. They had 48 pass attempts. We had 25. Dang. But again, rushing, 1 yard per carry for them, just 34 on the ground. So our rushing defense really getting the job done. Another good day for Ware. Kirkwood just exactly right at 100 yards. Hennessy, far, far fewer carries, but well over half the gap to Kirkwood. Huggins, 7 catches, 151 yards this time. Poland, only 2 catches, but one of them a big one, 62 yards and a touchdown. Field goals, big day for us on that one, 4 for 4. Bonner, 10 big tackles and a pass deflection. Treadway, 7 tackles, 2 for a loss. Cowart, 6 tackles and a sack. Holcomb had 3 pass deflections. Wyman only 2 tackles today, but a pass deflection and an interception. Right as I say, him improving his tackling is a good thing. And then he comes into the next game and gets 2 tackles. So I can put my foot in my mouth. We did have 3 sacks allowed. That's not very good from the offense and only a few pancakes. So their defense actually put some decent pressure on us. We did get a recruit, and actually it's somebody we just started recruiting. He immediately signed on. That makes me happy, though. We got somebody. Espinal. We lost Gentry, so we lost a tackle, so we're going to need to fill that void as well, plus the other ones that we'd already let go of. Oh, gosh, there's more. But wait, there's more. Lost a defensive end as well. That's a lot of players that signed on this week across the nation. A lot of them top recruits. That's going to clear the field up a little bit. And we only lost 2, so I guess it's not, terrible. And I'm hoping, at least, that we're not losing a lot of players this week. It looked like it was a big signing week. So it'd be really nice if the 10 that we have, if a good 9 out of 10 are still in for us. David Parks now at 50. There's one gone, linebacker. I seem to recruit well with Puerto Rico compared to others. For whatever reason, as there's no school there, maybe nobody seems to really be going for those targets. Oh, interview's already done. No wonder I can't click on it. Alright. How much was nothing? Okay, we just had the player profile. We've gone after a total of 51 recruits so far. Managed to sign 1. Okay, right back to quarterback again. We're already into the 3-star territory. Okay, we still have the running back, fullback, wide receiver. We need 2 guards. And yes, the list of those left got a whole lot shorter. At this point, it should be a little easier to find someone now. But we're already outside of 1,000. on guard, and I have 0. Oh, this really sucks. I think both of these guys are going to end up being crap. Oops. Not enough points left to go out there. That's terrible. Tackle, we need both there as well. A few positions that I still haven't even attempted to recruit this season. That's how bad things have gone for us. At least the tackles are a little bit better in terms of ranking position for us. Center as well. Might as well get to it. These guys are certainly going to be taken. Come on. 421, I like that. Yes, okay. That would be a solid pickup for us if we can get this guy. At least one decent lineman. I mean, that's been my weakest position. Oh, I need 2 centers. Gosh. We're struggling that much, huh? I need 2. Okay, well that's offense. That's 15. We'll go another week before we get those final 10. Now, looking at the schedule real quick. So we're down to the last 2 games of the season. We've got UMass coming up, who are 1-10. Now, we beat them last year as well, and they had 0 wins when we played them a year ago. Maybe it was 1 by the time we got to them. So a team that's definitely struggling. We are on the road, so not a given that we would win. But we're 7-3, they're 1-10. We should take care of take care of that game. Our last game is against what's normally a good team in Nevada, but the Wolfpack this year is just 3-7. Likewise, Hawaii, but here in game the last few years, Hawaii's been pretty poor. But with those records and playing Nevada at home, we've got every opportunity to end the season with 9 wins. We've been pretty consistent. The only bit of an upset that we faced, losing to Utah State, but they're 5-5, and we were on the road for that game. The really close game with San Diego State, who actually, when you look at it, they're 7-3. The loss to Fresno State, who's 7-1, and the loss to Miami, who's 8-0. So our 3 losses have all been against teams that have 7+ victories. No. Yeah, the loss to Utah State. That's the one. 5 victories for them. I mean, that's the one that hurts. But road game against a 500 team when we're not much better than a 500 team makes a little more sense. Anyway, 2 games to go. Every opportunity to come away with some sort of win. And also now looking at that, right? 2 games to go, I think we could just about wrap up the regular season within this episode. There's still enough time, but not if I enter the game, which is what I had been planning to do. So let's just go ahead and simulate the week. We'll box score this one again, just so we can get to that final week, do our recruiting, and then whatever time is left, we'll put into that final game of the regular season. So 37-13 road victory, clear across the country at UMass. And Ware, not a huge day, but he gets a couple 100 yards. Kirkwood just under 100, but he gets 4 touchdowns. And just a quick scan here. Wow, only 3 of 15, but well over 100 yards better than them. They did get 100 yards on the ground, but that's still only 2 yards per carry. So again, our rushing defense really stepping up for us. Only 1 turnover in the game, which was an interception. Neither team penalized much. No touchdowns for Ware today. Okay-ish rating. At least better than 50%. Still better than where we were by a long shot a couple seasons ago. Hennessy, only 1 carry of the game, so not sure what happened with him today. Ness stepping up and replacing him on the field, so hopefully Hennessy is okay. Three for 3 for field goals, including some long-range stuff. So, kicking department doing a really good job over the last few games. Cowart, massive day. 9 tackles, 3 for loss, 2 pass deflections, and an interception. That's definitely player of the week caliber stuff. Holcomb, 2 for a loss and 1 sack for him. Meyer, 1 for a loss and a pass deflection. Only a couple sacks though, but none given up. Penalties hurt a lot. Not a lot in quantity, but the yardage. Ouch, they're all but 2 are 10-plus yard penalties, and only a few pancakes on the day, so tricky. That helped keep UMass in the game a little bit. We didn't even score till the second quarter, but second and third, we just were relentless in this game. Here we go. Recruiting. We got a new player, Halverson, immediately. So that's another one. The new tackle we just went after immediately signs with us. So 712 is his rank. But we lost one of the guards. Somebody outside the top 1,000. I don't necessarily mind losing that, other than that it just pushes us even further down. Clark! Clemson! No! Seriously? We've been in for that guy all along, and he's really liked us all along. We were in the 40s. I did notice it dropped to 30 last week, so I'm guessing Clemson stepped in, and then instantly he was like, yeah, Clemson? Or the Olympic Decathlon rings. Clemson? Yeah, Clemson. Yeah, sure. So we just lost our kicker and guard. Looks like we're losing a couple of the other players as well. Yay, board's happy. 8-3 with 1 to play. I like that. Looking at this, I'm guessing we might not get that final game in. I think this recruiting could take a little bit. So before we get into that, we're going to look at something important here, as we have 1 game left to go, and interesting scenario. So, Boise State, 7-1 conference record, 10-2 overall, number 15 in the nation. They've got a clear path. They do have 2 good teams behind them in Colorado State and Utah State, who are both 6-2 in the conference. If Boise State lose and they both win, or one of them wins, there's something there. But divisional record, 5-0 for Boise State, I think is going to set Boise State up for conference championship. But in my division, in the West Division, it's still wide open. So San Diego State, 6-2. You know what? There should only be 8 games in conference, right? Those guys are done. At least in conference. There's only a few teams left that haven't played. So San Diego State, 6-2. And we beat them. 4-1 in division. We're 3-1 in division. If we win, we'll be 6-2 and 4-1 in division. And we beat them head to head. So we should have a tiebreaker over San Diego State. Fresno State, we lost to. So if they win their game, they would have tiebreaker over us. I don't know how they did head to head, which could affect things. So depending on how Fresno State do in their last game, which it's within the division, and who else? We have, it's Nevada or UNLV. We're playing Nevada, which means they're almost certainly playing UNLV, who are 4-7 overall, 0-4 in the division, 2-5 in the conference. But Fresno State have lost 2 straight games. But you gotta pick Fresno State over UNLV. So there's a slim chance that we could get our first appearance at the conference championship game. Don't think we're going to get there, though. I don't think we have that tiebreaker. But it's amazing that there is a clear division of 6 strong teams and 6 weak teams this season. Utah State, not that great, 6-5 overall, but 6-2 in conference is kind of their standout point. I mean, this is 5 teams potentially at 6-2 and 1 at 7-1 in conference. Okay, well, there's that piece. So, small chance, but I don't think we're going to get there, just because I think Fresno State's going to have the tiebreak and not us. Right, team schedule, yes, we lost to Fresno State. Yeah, 31-13. But beat San Diego State in a close game. That's that kind of key one. We have 1 tiebreak, but we've lost 1 tiebreak. Alright, well, we're up to 2 recruits, at least. To start. Perez is definitely a last day signer. Parks finally high enough on the list that he's actually showing up as it's plus 50. So he was at 50. You go plus 50, you go 51 and above, and it does show up on the list. And that's what I'm competing with, right? Who's above 50? Seems like if nobody else goes above 50, I automatically get those recruits at the end of the season. At least that's what I've seen so far. And we're still good on all these guys. But now he's above 50 there. We're only 11. So we're losing this running back. It's only 1 loss so far. Well, it was. Wide receiver with 2 options way above us. And from as far as I could tell, they don't go anywhere. They don't go above 50 without a scholarship offer. Seems to be the case. Lost a guard. Just when I thought we were golden. Guessing you're hearing the kids so excited downstairs. Yes, there's a daycare downstairs. I would love to get some what do you call it? Soundproofing on the ceiling, on the floor, in between. It would make a big difference, but for now, on a channel that hasn't earned any money yet, isn't big enough for that. I've got to get there first before I can justify actually spending more money to support the channel than what I've already spent at this point for this hobby. Alright, well, we lost a center as well, so that's 4 guys to replace. But we're making some progress otherwise. I guess we're at 9 right now. It's not terrible. No, it is. It's awful. And I've still literally not even begun recruiting some positions. And every week we're constantly just replacing. Not very many 5-star guys left out there, but these top players holding out, waiting for that competition, giving everyone hope, and then when they finally sign, all those teams that are in for him, they bounce down the list to somebody else. There you go, there's all the 5 stars. Ooh, that's interesting. A 4-star above a 5-star in the rankings. Anyway, let's get out there and replace what we lost first. Running back. Not so good. Not so good. And looking at the time as we drop into the 3-star range and outside of the top 1,000 now. I'm running out of time. So I'm going to try to grab whatever recruits I can get my hand on, and maybe I need to finish this list off. We need to get up to all 25 and start getting some offers out there. So not just worrying about what we can scout, as ultimately this doesn't matter. It's just getting the best player that I can get my hand on based on those rankings, as we're too weak in recruiting anyway for the scouting to actually be a factor. So I'm going to try to get all 25 scholarships offered, and then we've got 1 game left of the season to play, and there's still a chance that we could appear in the conference championship game. I don't think it's likely, though. I think Fresno State is on their way. I think they'll bounce back after 2 losses. Interesting thing of note here in the top 25 rankings, Appalachian State, who put themselves on the map after beating a top-ranked Michigan team 8-10 years ago when they were a Division II powerhouse. Then they opted to go up after doing so and became a top division team, and then struggled but did okay for themselves. And now, just this handful of years later, of course, in game, boosted by that, they see themselves as a ranked team. Speaking of ranked teams, we're 38th. We're not so far below that list. The same 3 teams are undefeated, and yet somehow LSU is ranked number 1 at 11-1. Not sure how that is. Definitely don't agree with it. But there it is. And Alabama, I don't think I see them in the list at all, unless my eyes deceive me, which could be the case. But that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time as we wrap up this season. Bye for now.